A very good morning, children. This is Ma'am Anna, your English teacher, back again with English recorded classes. Are you all ready for today's session? Let's start the class. Yeah? Before I start the class, a few important information to be noted. Children, coming Monday, we will connect with each other via Zoom. I want you all to wear your uniform. The girls to neatly tie up your hair, and the boys, please comb your hair and sit neatly for the class, children. You'll have to sit like as though you're sitting in a classroom. You'll have to keep your classwork and your English all-in-one reader handy when you're sitting in the class. All right? So here we go. What is this now? Walk, walked. Eat, ate. I think this has got to do something with today's session. I think you're also thinking the same way, isn't it? Wait and watch. Before we start off with today's session, let's look at what the agenda for today is. We will start off with a new chapter, the forms of past tense. Now there are 4 forms of past tense, which is simple past tense, past continuous tense, past perfect tense, and past perfect continuous tense. We'll look into all of these 4 forms with definitions and lots of examples. And then comes my time to ask you all questions just to see how much you understood. Then, of course, we will summarize all what we have learned, and then the last part is your assignment, which is your classwork and homework. Before we start with today's session, which is simple past tense, let's see what past tense is all about. Past tense is used for a past activity or a past state of being. Isn't it, children? Something which happened in the past. Now, like how we learned the 4 forms of present tense, even past tense has the same 4 forms, which is simple past tense, past continuous tense, past perfect tense, past perfect continuous tense. So let's see the definition of each of these with lots of examples. So let's look at the first one, which is simple past tense. Let's look at the first one, which is simple past tense. What is simple past tense? Children, the simple past tense is also called the past indefinite tense because it tells us that the action was done at some point of time in the past. In other words, simple past tense is used to talk about what happened at a definite time in the past. Hope you all have understood? Yes? Now, there are some expressions we use. Some expressions we use means words that we use in a sentence like yesterday, last night, a month ago, last week, yesterday afternoon, etc. Now let's look at some uses with examples as well for you to understand what simple past tense is better. We use simple past tense for a series of completed actions in the past. A series of completed actions means events or actions completed in the past, not one action but 2 or 3 actions together. Let's look at the first one. I visited my grandmother, stayed for 1 or 2 hours, chatted with her, and went to my home. So which means here you have 1, 2, 3 and 4 actions which are completed, isn't it? The second one, my brother woke up, washed my face, got dressed and left home. Is this clear, children? Let's look at the second use. It is used for completed actions in the past. For example, he went to Paris 2 days ago. We saw him last Sunday. I heard a terrible explosion last night. Not only that, we use simple past tense for single period with time expression. Okay, and here are a few examples. He had a friend for 3 years. How long he had? For 3 years only. My father talked on the phone for 5 minutes. So how long your father talked? 5 minutes. She chose to stay with her mother all day. So she wanted to stay with the mother the whole day. And we also use simple past tense for the habit in the past and if it's used adverbs of frequency. I always did my homework on time when I was a student. So when he was a student, he always did his homework on time. My father often read me tales before I went to bed. Here tales means stories. When I was young, I walked 10 miles to workplace every day. So when he was young, he used to walk 10 miles to work every day. Hope these examples and the uses were very clear to your children. Yes? Let's look at the second one then. Children, before we start off with the next form of past tense, let's look at some sentence structures for simple past tense. Do you all remember what sentence structures are? We did that even for simple present tense, isn't it? So in the same way, even for simple past tense, we do have sentence structures. So how to put a positive sentence into a negative sentence and how to change the negative sentence into an interrogative sentence. Okay, we did see a lot of examples for simple present tense. In the same way, we'll look at some examples. The only difference is I have jumbled up the negative sentence structure and the interrogative sentence structure. So you will have to match this and you will either write and send me the right sentence structure or you will message me. Okay, so I'll do the first and the second one for you all. The rest you will have to do it yourself. Positive sentence structure. If it is in the positive way, it is he met his wife 6 years ago. Now, if we have to put this into a negative sentence, it would be he didn't meet her The same thing, if we have to put it into an interrogative sentence, it would be, did he meet her? Let's look at the second one. I graduated from the university. Into a negative sentence, it would be, I didn't graduate. And if we have to put this in the interrogative form, it would be, did I graduate? I'll read the rest of the positive sentence, and you will have to put these positive sentence into a negative form, and you will have to put the negative sentence into a interrogative sentence. All right. The third one, they watched a movie yesterday. Fourth one, you went to bed early. Fifth one, she studied in the library. The sixth one, they had dinner last night. The seventh one, he felt sad yesterday. Eighth one, we made a cupcake for you. And the last one, the police found some clues. Hope you all have understood what to do and what simple past tense sentence structures are. Let's move on to the next one then. Let's look at the second one, which is the past continuous tense. Now, what does the past continuous tense stand for? The past continuous tense describes actions or events in a time before now, which means which began in the past and is still going on at the time of speaking. Now, in simple words, the past continuous tense denotes an action that was going on at some point of time in the past, and it expresses an action continuing over a period of time in the past. And let's see, for what do we use the past continuous tense? We use the past continuous tense to describe action that started in the past and was going on for a while at the time, and to mark out an action of relatively longer duration in the past and is compared to one of the shortest duration. And we also use the past continuous tense to show continuing action when we are narrating a story. Let's look at these examples. You can understand them better. And we also use ing to the verb in the sentence. The first one, they were playing basketball after school. He was eating food. The rain was raining tonight. She wasn't watching the movie. They were going to the library. He was doing a great job. I was not writing a letter. My television wasn't working properly. We were celebrating a festival. The teacher was teaching in a class. Are these examples more than enough, children? Hope you all have understood what past continuous tense is all about. Let's look at how sentence structure is formed for past continuous tense. The positive form will be I was playing. If we have to put this in the negative form, it is I wasn't playing. And the same thing, if we have to put it into an interrogative sentence, it would be, was I playing? Let's look at the second one. You were playing. You weren't playing. Were you playing? He was playing. He wasn't playing. Was he playing? She was playing. She wasn't playing. Was she playing? It was playing. It wasn't playing. Was it playing? We were playing. We weren't playing. Were we playing? You were playing. You weren't playing. Were you playing? They were playing. They weren't playing. Were they playing? Are these examples enough, children? So we have learned to form the sentence structure with I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they. Let's look at past perfect tense. What is past perfect tense, children? Now, past perfect tense describes an action that got completed before a certain point of time in the past. For example, she had written the letter before I saw her. Now, in this, there are two actions that had happened in the past. One is she had written the letter, and the second one is before I saw her. Now, it may be necessary to show which one happened first and which one happened in the second. So what is the first one here? She had written. So before I could go there, she had already written, right? So the she had written will be the first sentence, the action. And the second action was that I went to see her. Hope it's clear, children. Look at these examples. You will get to know what past perfect tense even more better. The baby had cried before her father came. Had the water boiled when you went to the kitchen? I had never seen such a nice beach before I went to Hawaii. Had she come late to the school? By the time I returned home, he had already left. Until he went to England, he had not spoken English. I went there after I had completed the task. When I came home, they had already eaten the meal. He began to run after he had seen the cat. Hope these sentences are very clear. Now let's look at some uses with examples as well before we look at the sentence structure. Now, if at all we have to describe an action which finished before another past action, the examples like this. Richard had gone out when his wife arrived in the office. Now, for actions that happened before a specific time in the past, the example is Christian had never been to an opera before last night. Now, what is opera? Opera means drama, right? Now, to describe cause and effects, I got stuck in traffic because there had been an accident. To emphasize the result of an activity in the past. I had been to London twice by the time I got a job in New York. Now let's look at some sentence structures. A positive sentence, she had finished the test. If we have to put it in the negative way, she hadn't finished the test. And if we have to put this in an interrogative sentence, had she finished the test? Is it clear, children? Let's look at the last tense, which is past perfect continuous tense. Now, what is past perfect continuous tense all about? Let's look at the definition. Past perfect continuous tense describes an action which began in the past and continued up to the time of speaking or just stopped. Moreover, it is used to emphasize the continuation of an activity. Now, let me explain this for you, children. Children, just to make it very simple, we'll put it across like this. The past continuous tense shows that an action started in the past, continued up until another time in the past. And the past continuous tense is constructed using words like had been. Very clear, children? Hope it's very clear and you have understood. Now let's look at some examples. Had they been playing football for a month? The employees had been achieving the target before the boss came. They had been celebrating their wedding anniversary for hours when David arrived. We had been looking for the wallet for 2 hours when Susan found it. When her husband came home, the woman had been cleaning the house for hours. Had he been cooking any meal when she came to my house? Had she been working all day? I had not been playing computer game before they came to the house. They cried sadly when they left the town because they had been living there since their childhood. Had you drinking anything before you left? Now, in each of these sentences, you will find that an action had begun in the past, which means it's already had been done in the past and continued up to the time we are speaking. Now, if you're looking at the 4th example, just look at this. We had been looking for the wallet for 2 hours, which means they were searching and searching for the wallet. Wallet means purse, children. When Susan found it. Hope you have understood, children, what past perfect continuous tense is all about. Now let's look at some uses of past continuous tense with examples for each of these uses. Now it describes a past action already started and continued up to another action or time in the past. Example for that, the boys had been playing soccer for about an hour when it started to rain. So which means the boys were playing until it started raining. to express the duration before something in the past. Richard needed a holiday because he had been working hard for 6 months. To describe the cause of something in the past, he was tired because he had been jogging. Very easy to understand, and hope these examples were useful. So here ends the 4 forms of past tense. Hope you all have understood, children. And now it's my time to ask you all questions. Are you all ready, children? Hope you all have a paper and a pen handy to jot down the questions. The first one. Name the 4 forms of past tense. Name the 4 forms of past tense. Second one. Give an example. Give an example for past continuous tense. Give an example for past continuous tense. And the third one is, give me an example sentence to express a habitual action of the past. Give an example sentence to express a habitual action of the past, and what tense does this habitual past represent? What tense does the habitual action represent? Done. The last question is, now you will put this into interrogative sentence. You will put this in interrogative sentence. The patient had died before the doctor came. The patient had died before the doctor came. Let me see who will be the first one to get a round of applause in the group. And children, I want most of you all answering these questions. Not the same children who are answering again and again. I want all those who haven't tried so far to send the answers to me to try. Even if it is wrong, never mind, children. All right, all the best. What have we learned today so far? We have learned the 4 different forms of past tense, which is the simple past tense, simple past continuous, simple past perfect, and simple past perfect continuous tense, with definition and lots of examples and their usage. Isn't it, children? Hope you all have understood all the 4 forms of past tense. Now the last part of a slide, which is the assignment slide. Children, for your classwork, as usual, I will be sending definitions via WhatsApp. Copy it neatly in your grammar classwork the way it has been written. All right. For your homework, worksheet will be sent in the group. Do as directed in the homework book. Once again, I'm repeating, worksheet will be sent in the group. Do as directed in the homework book. And I had also given another homework, which is sentence structure. Hope you all remember that you will do it in your rough book and send it to me. That you will do it in your rough book and send it to me. And until we meet in the next session, this is Ma'am Anna signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.